What's up, tribe? This is going to be your review of G-StatusAtlHustle Season 1, Episode 2. Um, got on my crayon case lip gloss. Y'all let me know how y'all like it. And ignore the pimple. We're going to keep it moving, though. So let me tell y'all something about this episode. So first of all, I have to really rely on my notes because I told you guys I'm out of town for the next couple of weeks. So I don't have my normal situation set up to help me when I get stuck on something. The episode picks up where we left off with Milan Jada. And let me tell y'all something. I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about Mr. Milan, but I fucks with you. I love you. I love Milan. Now I don't know how I'm gonna feel about him at the end of the season, but in this episode, I was feeling him. Um, the beginning of the episode, Milan was all proper. Oh yes, and I'm from New York, and I do social media, and I'm into fashion. Like he was doing it. By the end of the episode, because he was like, I'm from the Bronx, and I think it was Akeem, because somebody corrected me, got me together in my comments last week, and was like, his name is Akeem, not Hakeem, because I guess I was saying the H, but no disrespect, Akeem. He was talking about something. He sound like he from Brooklyn. He was like, "What does somebody from Brooklyn sound like? What does he mean by that?" By the end of the episode, you showed him what somebody from Brooklyn sound like because you got all the way in the camera and was like, "Don't play with me because." And that Bronx. I'm sorry, it wasn't Brooklyn. It was Bronx. That Bronx came all the way out, Mr. Jada. Anyway, so we're still at um Sherrod. I'm sorry, I was gonna call him Shad, and I know that wasn't right. That's really bothering me. But we're still at Sherrod's little get together, little party, and Sir Akeem is still there. Let me tell y'all something. Producers of this show, producers. I think y'all do watch my review because I got a shout out. Thank you, and I appreciate that. I need every fucking outtake of Hakeem sent to me because when I tell you he's the funniest, I don't even think he means to be funny. Like I'm pretty certain he doesn't mean to be the comic relief. But when I tell you he funny as shit. And again, I was trying to rock with you. I really wanted to see you win. But you messy as shit and you even messier on this show than you were on that other show because somebody done got in your head and then pumped you up because you talking about something. I got a contract and I don't know about the rest of these, but I'm under contract and ain't nobody getting rid of me. That's right, I'm still here, bitches. Ain't nobody sending me nowhere. I was like, who done got who done got him all excited and stuff? But he was cutting up in those confessionals the whole episode, and it was hilarious. Um, Jada was kind of feeling Charlie a little bit. He was feeling Charlie a little bit. And if I'm using the wrong pronoun, please correct me. I apologize. But I believe you do go by the pronoun of he. But they met at the little soiree, and he was like, he's a little cutie and all of that, but he was also talking to the bartender a little bit, which we found out the bartender's name is Jadar. See, I gotta get the name right. Um, Z- Zafar. Who was an exotic dancer, but he was also the bartender at Sherrod's party, and I'm gonna get back to him. I'm gonna get back to him. Um, so look, we see this whole scene with Charlie and his friend doing this rock climbing situation. I don't know, he just like had to film something or what. But first he was um talking about how it's the best rock climbing place in Atlanta and it's all of that. And then he was like, but I've never been rock climbing before. Well, then how you know it's the best if you've never even done it before? And then he was all getting impatient with all the paperwork. That paperwork is there to protect you. Because if you fall off that top of that daggone wall and you ain't signed no paperwork, your family can't sue and get no money, boo. You better take care of that shit. Um, but yeah, so that whole episode could have been cut. Like, I mean, that whole scene could have been cut. Like, I don't really feel like it was any redeeming quality in that scene at all, to be perfectly honest with you. But I like you, Charlie. I do. But that scene was just dry and forced. So, I don't know about all that. Then we see, um, I'm sorry, why I want to keep calling him Shad, and I know that's not his name. Sherrod was meeting with some friends to kind of talk to them, because again, remember, Sherrod is really trying to make this transition, and so he's meeting with some friends to talk to them about, how do I do this? How do I walk that tightrope between this audience and that audience, and how can I bring them together? And his friends were basically telling him, look, watch what you put out, because what you put out is what's going to come back to you. If you're putting out naked pictures and hump day pictures and butt pics, that's what's going to come to you. But if you're putting out, put out some clips of your acting gigs, even if it was just a scene where you were an extra. Put some of those scenes on your Instagram. Put some of that stuff out there and let that come back to you. At the end of the day, in this day and age and the way we live, you're not going to get away from, unfortunately, the adult films. Those clips are going to live forever, unfortunately. But, excuse me, what you can do is own it, accept it, and move on. And the audiences will follow. And I think that's kind of where your friends were coming from. And they gave you some really good advice. Something I wrote down. It says, what your friend said, put out what you want to get back, be happy. And I like the fact that your friend Gary, he said the decision you made, not the mistake. So again, these are your real friends who understand that you deciding to do adult films was not a mistake. It was a decision you made at that time in your life, and you're no longer in that space, so you want to make different decisions. And I like that, and I like your friend said that. All right, so we got to finish this up. Sorry about that. I had to take a break. But so anyway, so we finished up with Sherrod meeting up with his friends, and I told you I really like what his friends had to say to him. So then we see where Adrian is having an event. He's having a celebration for the web series Trade hitting 1 million views. Now, I don't really know a lot about Trade, but now I'm going to go watch it, right? And the producers of Trade must be real cool with the producers of this show, and pardon my ignorance if there's a connection that everybody else knows that I don't know, because Trey got a lot of play in this episode. Like, they were talking about Trey, they showed the cast of Trey, they talked about what the show was, and the producer even spoke and said, this is a show that didn't have a budget, they didn't have a lot of notoriety, they didn't have a lot of publicity, yet they hit 1 million views, and that's something to celebrate, which it is. It's absolutely something to celebrate. This where it starts go left, y'all. So Akeem gets a certificate because the producer says that, it wouldn't be a show without him, that he's like, one of the originals or ride or die for the show, like all this great stuff about him. And he gets this little, they could have got him a plaque, y'all. A certificate. Like, I could have printed that on my computer. But of course, you can't tell him shit. He the man. He running things. He like, yeah, because this lets you know who in charge, who the boss. So Sherrod was there. When Sherrod saw Akeem show up, Sherrod was like, I'm out. Get my Uber. Let me hit my app. I'm out of here. Because he was like, I don't want no smoke. Like, me and him already got into it at my event. I don't want to mess up nobody else's event. And it's best that I just not be around this dude. Like, but y'all know, Sir Akeem, he gonna go over to him talking about something. I need to talk to you now. Now, first of all, you wouldn't have got shit out of me with that now shit. But anyway, so Sherrod goes outside to talk to him, and he gonna ask him, well, what's the he apologized. I will say that he did apologize. He was like, I'm not really trying to cause no problems. I wasn't, I apologize if I brought it up in the wrong way or at the wrong time. He was like, I understand that you're trying to get out of, doing, you're trying to transition into a different career, and I'm sorry if I, brought it up and I caused any problems. And Sherrod was like, just telling him, look, that just wasn't the time or the place. Like, I am what I am and I did what I did. But in that moment, what I was trying to celebrate and what I was trying to do, it just wasn't the appropriate time or place to bring all of that up. So then, so I feel like that should have been the end of the conversation, but not with Sir Akeem. So with him, so then they get to talking about. He starts telling him about I don't. It doesn't make sense to me, so it's hard for me to recap because Akeem doesn't make sense. He was already drunk. He was already, and y'all know how he do that talk stuff, and so every time Sherrod tried to talk, Akeem talked over him. Every time he tried to explain where he was coming from, he talked over him. And so finally, Sherrod was like, you know what? I'm done. Like, you're not letting me talk. You're not letting me get it out, and I'm done. So he gonna walk away. Akeem talking about something. I'm not gonna keep chasing his ass around. This is the third time he done walked away from me. We got a problem here. He walked away from you because your ass wouldn't let him talk. Lord have mercy. So anyway, Sherrod ends up leaving. So they decide to have the after party over at. I know I don't want to mispronounce his name. Somebody be in my comments again. At Zafar's house. Now Zafar, remember, is the exotic dancer, which I would hire him for my party. Okay, okay. He's a little cutie though. I'm gonna get you a thesaurus. I'm gonna get you a thesaurus though, cause I'm gonna need you to work on your word play, your vocabulary. I need you to work on that. But I like you though. You're a little cutie. I like you. And of course, he's talking about how he the man in Atlanta. All of them are the man. All of them run in Atlanta. All of them are the HNICs of Atlanta. But they at the after party. They go back to his apartment. It's Akeem, Zafar, Milan Jada, and Tremel. It was Tremel. So of course Akeem is just drunk. Like, he's drunk, he's slurring, he's just talking out the side of his neck. And they're like, look, we're gonna need you to just chill out. So he's still talking about Sherrod. He was like, and he made a good point. He was like, they keep sending these clips to my phone. They know how I am. They know I get to drinking and then I can't shut up. So they must want me to say something about it. Like, that was how he justified in his mind continuing to talk about Sherrod and I'm not gonna say drunk driving. I'm sorry, and this adult film stuff, right? So then he goes from that to asking Jada, so are you androgynous? Jada was like, what? He was like, I mean, what are you, androgynous? And then they had this whole thing where Zafar couldn't say the word, and it was, and Milan got offended. Now, I'm not sure why he got offended. Is it that it was impolite? Is it impolite to ask somebody, are they androgynous? Is that not the correct term? And I'm asking sincerely because I don't know. Or is it just that Akeem was drunk and he came out of left field with it? Like, why? I didn't understand why he got offended. And he went on to say, he was like, look, if I feel like wearing some jeans and a sweatshirt, I'm going to wear jeans and a sweatshirt. If I feel like wearing a sweatsuit, I'm going to wear a sweatsuit. If I want to wear a dress with a wig down my back, then that's what I'm going to do. It just depends on how I feel. Okay. I mean, to me, that's okay. You answered the question. But, and of course, Hakeem was talking about how he got a mustache and all that. Hakeem was drunk as hell. So now, Jada is offended. So him and Hakeem sort of get into it. And that's when I told y'all earlier that Jada got real Brooklyn on their ass. Yeah, I mean Bronx on their ass. Yeah, the Bronx came out real quick. And he was like, look, I'm going to need you to not put your hands on me. I'm going to need you to get up off me or it's going to be a problem. The other tea that Mr. Jada spilled was that the apartment where they had this little party at last week for Sherrod wasn't his apartment. But here's the thing. If you paid attention to the episode, you already knew that. Because there was a point where Sherrod was like, Yeah, it's gonna be, yeah, this is my place. Well, yeah, this is my place. So like he wasn't even sure himself. Like if you paid attention, I don't know the exact clip. If I could find it, I would. He says it. So he kind of told on himself that that wasn't really his apartment. But Jada was saying how, he knows the person whose apartment it really is and how there was a press release about the apartment. So this must have been a really nice spot. Like, I didn't see it in what they showed us last week, but, you know, we didn't get no grand tour. But Jada was like, he knows who actually lives there and they were just basically renting it out. But my thing is, you exposing Sherrod, but aren't you exposing the show too? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I would think you'd be putting the show on blast too, as well as Sherrod. Or are you trying to say that the show didn't know that Sherrod was pretending like that was his place? And my thing is, if Sherrod got money to rent out an apartment, why he don't just have an apartment? So who's renting out the apartment? The show, right? That's what I would think. I mean, when Love and Hip Hop and them do it, the show pays for them to rent out those spaces that ain't really real spaces. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think. That's the funniest thing about this episode. Like I said, y'all, if y'all don't watch it for nothing else, watch it for Akeem's confessionals. If you don't watch nothing else, watch those confessionals. They're freaking hilarious. Oh, Q was in it too. Shout out to Q from Chasing Atlanta. He made a cameo. He was at the trade party. And I don't know if he's connected to this show or he just happened to be at that particular place when they were filming. But shout out to Q. There was also seen to be a little, oh, I did miss this, a little bit between Jada, Charlie, and Zafar. Because I really hope I'm saying that baby's name right. I believe I said Zafar. Um, because Zafar and Charlie, they were kind of hitting it off and talking, having a good conversation. And when Milan showed up, Milan was like, hold up. Charlie belongs, that's mine. But he was like, and I thought I had a little connection with the bartender too. Like he was like, hold up, like why ain't nobody what who y'all two hooked up and I'm on the outside. So I don't know if that's gonna turn into a thing or if it was just a moment. But we'll keep an eye on it. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Remember the show is every 2 weeks. So we'll get another episode in 2 weeks. But I'm telling y'all, watch it for that damn Sir Hakeem confessional, if nothing else. Let me know what y'all think. Peace.